Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Today, we're cracking the code on a topic that's got everyone talking: fasting versus calorie restriction for weight loss.
You want the inside scoop on both and ready to figure out which one could be your perfect match, right?
Absolutely. It's a question I get asked all the time.
We'll uncover some seriously cool benefits that go way beyond just fitting into those skinny jeans.
Oh, yeah.
Think like hormonal shifts
Yeah,
and even some next level cellular rejuvenation.
love it. It's true, getting that science background can be a game changer. But before we go any further, remember,
Yeah.
we're all unique.
So true.
What works wonders for one person might not be the magic bullet for another.
Right.
So keep your ears open for those aha moments, the stuff that really clicks with your own goals and what your body needs.
Love that. All right, first things first, got to define what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Fasting. What is it?
Yeah.
It's all about creating those cycles between eating and, not eating.
Right.
You probably heard the buzz about intermittent fasting.
That's where you eat within a certain window each day.
Right.
And then there's extended fasting, which could mean skipping meals for like a whole day or even longer.
Exactly. And then on the other side, we've got calorie restriction. Here, you're laser focused on eating fewer calories than your body burns day in and day out.
Makes sense.
This basically nudges your body to tap into those fat stores for energy, kind of like a strategic energy shift.
I like it. So fasting is more about the when, and calorie restriction is about the how much. Yeah.
Got it.
But what makes fasting so effective for weight loss in the first place?
Okay, so get this. Fasting actually flips a switch inside your body.
Let's switch.
It lowers this hormone called insulin and cranks up another one called growth hormone. And this combo, it's like the dynamic duo of fat burning.
Okay, that sounds pretty amazing.
Right.
Lower insulin, higher growth hormone. Tell me more about how those hormones work their magic.
So picture this. When insulin levels go down, your body suddenly has easier access to stored fat. It's like unlocking a treasure chest of energy.
I'm picturing it. Open sesame.
And here's the best part, the increase in growth hormone. It's like your muscle's best friend. It helps preserve your muscle mass while you're saying goodbye to fat.
Wait, so you're saying I could actually lose fat and gain muscle? Sign me up.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
It's like hitting two birds with one stone.
It's like the dream.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more to this whole fasting thing, right? I keep hearing about something called autophagy.
Ah, yes. Autophagy.
Let's deal with that.
Think of it like spring cleaning for your cells. It's like a total cellular detox.
Okay.
When you fast, your body goes into this amazing mode where it's like, time to clean house.
It gets busy cleaning up those damaged cell bits and pieces and replacing them with fresh, brand new ones.
Interesting. So we're not just talking about looking good on the outside. This is next level stuff.
Exactly. It's about feeling incredible from the inside out.
Right. Like a total body renovation.
Exactly. And the best part is this whole autophagy thing isn't just about looking good. It's linked to a bunch of health benefits. Think improved metabolic health, potentially dodging certain diseases.
Wow.
And get this, some research even suggests it could play a role in helping us live longer. How cool is that?
That's pretty amazing. Okay, so fasting is sounding pretty darn impressive so far.
Right.
But let's not forget about our old friend, calorie restriction. It's a classic for a reason, right?
Exactly. Calorie restriction, it all boils down to that calorie deficit. Think of it like a bank account, right?
Okay, I like where this is going.
If you're spending more than you're depositing, your balance is going to shrink.
Makes sense.
So with calorie restriction, you're aiming to spend or burn more calories than you're taking in through food.
I got it. And one of the things I personally love about calorie restriction is how flexible it can be.
Absolutely.
You're not tied to a specific eating window. So if you, like me, enjoy a good snack or prefer those smaller meals spread throughout the day,
Right.
this approach could be your jam.
Exactly. Plus, there's something really comforting and structured about calorie restriction for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Tracking what you eat, seeing those numbers, it can be motivating. But a little word of caution, going too extreme with calorie restriction can backfire.
How so?
It could potentially lead to muscle loss and a slower metabolism, which nobody wants.
Right, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
It's all about finding that sweet spot, that balance.
Exactly. Sustainability is key here. It's got to be something you can actually stick with.
Totally. All right, so we've got our two contenders, fasting and calorie restriction. Each has its own perks and potential downsides, just like anything else. So let's get ready to rumble. Fasting versus calorie restriction. How do they actually compare head to head?
Let's do it. I'm ready to break it down.
Okay, round one, simplicity. For a lot of people, keeping things simple and straightforward is a major win when it comes to choosing a weight loss strategy. And I gotta say, in this corner, Fasting seems to have the upper hand.
I'd agree with that.
You're not chained to a calculator or a food journal. You just got to stick to your designated eating and fasting windows.
Exactly. It's all about keeping it simple.
Right. And speaking of freedom, let's talk metabolism round 2.
Ooh, yes. The metabolism matchup.
We talked about those awesome hormonal shifts that happen during fasting.
Right, right.
That insulin dip, the growth hormone surge, they can give your metabolism a nice little kickstart, especially in the short term.
Exactly. It's like giving your metabolism a little nudge in the right
A
direction.
little nudge, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
But on the flip side, calorie restriction. I've heard it gets a bad rap for potentially slowing down metabolism. Is that true?
It's a bit of a balancing act. It's true that if you're consistently restricting calories over a long period, your body's smart. It adapts.
Oh, that makes sense.
So your metabolism might slow down a bit as its way of conserving energy. It's like your body's saying, hey, we're working with a little less fuel here, so let's conserve our resources.
Wow, our bodies are amazing.
They are.
So it's not just about what we eat, but it's also about how our bodies respond and adapt over time.
Precisely. It's a dynamic process for sure.
It's like this intricate dance between what we do and how our bodies react.
Exactly. It's all connected.
Love it. Okay, next round 3. Hunger. This one's a biggie.
Oh, absolutely. Hunger can make or break any weight loss journey.
Because if you're absolutely miserable and starving all the time,
It's just not sustainable, right?
exactly, you're not going to stick with something if your stomach's always growling at you.
Exactly. So how do fasting and calorie restrictions stack up in the Hunger Games?
You know, it's really interesting because some people find that fasting, and this might sound counterintuitive, actually helps them manage their cravings better than they ever expected.
Really? That's so interesting. So you're saying even though you're being more mindful of when you eat, you might actually end up feeling less hungry overall?
For some, yes. Once you get past those initial few days, those first hurdles, your hunger hormones actually start to chill out a bit.
The hunger hormones chill out. I like the sound of that.
Exactly. And think about it. Having those limited eating windows naturally reduces those random snacking urges and those late night cravings.
Oh, that's a good point.
Because they're simply not built into your routine.
Right, you're not even giving yourself the opportunity to have those late night cravings.
Precisely. It's like you're outsmarting your hunger hormones.
I like it. But then on the flip side, with calorie restriction, you do have that flexibility to eat more frequently throughout the day,
That's true.
which can be really satisfying for some people.
Absolutely. Some people just thrive on having those regular meals to keep those hunger pangs at bay.
Yeah, it really boils down to what works best for your body and your lifestyle. There's no one right answer. And that kind of brings us to a really important point
Yeah.
when we're comparing these two approaches.
Mm,
Long-term sustainability.
absolutely. That's crucial. We can talk about all the benefits in the world.
Right, exactly. It's not just about losing a few pounds quickly. It's about finding a way to eat.
That you can stick with.
Yeah.
Like, for life.
Exactly, because let's face it, life happens, right?
Exactly. So how do these two approaches, fasting and calorie restriction, how do they measure up when it comes to actually fitting in to our real, messy, wonderful lives?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Well, with calorie restriction, one of the great things is that you've got that flexibility to adjust your calorie intake.
Okay.
So let's say you have a big event coming up.
Okay.
You can adjust your daily intake accordingly, no problem.
It's kind of like having a budgeting app, but for your calories. You can move things around a bit to make it work. I like that.
Exactly. It's about having that control and flexibility. But then again, some people really appreciate the structured eating and fasting windows that come with something like intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
It helps them stay on track without overthinking it too much, you know?
It's like having those guardrails in place. You know when to eat and when not to eat.
Precisely. It takes out the guesswork, which can be really helpful for some people.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is that both approaches, whether you're into calorie restriction or fasting,
Right.
they can both become almost like second nature over time.
Absolutely. It's true. It's like anything else, practice makes perfect.
It's all about building those healthy habits.
Exactly. And I think that's a really important takeaway from all of this.
What's that?
Our sources really highlight this, and it's something to remember. That initial transition period, whether it's adjusting to counting those calories or those first few days of fasting,
Right.
it can be tough. There's no denying it.
It's a challenge.
Yeah.
But like you said, our bodies are amazing. They adapt.
They do. Our bodies and our minds are incredibly adaptable. The more we practice a new way of eating, the more familiar and more comfortable it becomes.
It's like learning a new dance move.
Exactly.
At first it feels awkward. You're stepping on your own toes. You're like, what am I doing?